He's
That is
filling my
entirely up to
ear.
you all. Good afternoon, and welcome everybody to the Washington City Council Workshop Meeting of September 13th. Mr. Stevenson, could you call the roll?
Councilmember Delavar. Councilmember Russell. Councilmember Shoemaker.
Good.
Councilmember McDaniel.
Here.
Councilmember Costin.
Here.
Councilmember Greenlee.
Here.
Councilmember Morris.
Here. Now I did, we received a note from Councilmember Belmar. He is in the air today and in work, so he will certainly be excused from the meeting. Public comments. We're at that point in the workshop. Agenda for any comments from the public for the council?
Already?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How are you, Mrs. Terrell?
I'm well, thank you, sir. You all appear to be well, that's good. Keep you working hard. Three things. First of all, there's a card floating around to honor Councilman Morris. I appreciate all the hours and labor you put in, and thank you. We do too.
Everybody else puts in as many hours as I do.
Well, whatever you do, we appreciate it,
Thanks.
all of you. Second thing, as in the now, G Street is being really, I don't know the word, it's busy because the construction, you know about that, okay. Some of those things are so big, the tree leaves, the tree branches are waving as they go by. They're, I mean, our street's only 20 feet wide to begin with, and the trucks are, so, please. Second, third thing is, I know there's no money to do much to G Street, but the way it was worked for the time. And right now, it isn't working. We can't expect the police to be there all the time watching all these guys. I see them a lot because I'm a gardener and I'm out in the front yard. But I want to know, since we have no money, or damn little, why can't we figure out a way to maybe just temporarily at least start some one-way street signs? We've got a break at 9, there's a break at 12, there's a break at 15. So that all these people who are rushing through from E through to 17th would have to discombobulate themselves and go someplace else. That would be very nice. It would also be nice if Trevor could find the county kind enough to put up some more lighting, because there are more poles than lamps. The street is very dark. We can live without sidewalks if we weren't walking in the dark in the street, and a few lamps would help a lot. I had the misfortune, well, I guess it wasn't a misfortune, but I was lucky enough. I was driving along G Street, going to my home. This car approached me with very, very bright lights. I couldn't see. Thank God I stopped, because once the guy had passed, I realized there were 3 people walking on my side of the road. One of them was in front of my right headlight. Had I not stopped, I would have hit her, because I was totally blinded, couldn't see, no lights, very dark, etc. So if you can find a way to put some bucks into just a few changes, it would help us a lot. And it would certainly help to get those trucks out of there. But
Trevor, can you look on some of that with you and see what we might have? Do we have any, or are they easily obtainable, or are they ungodly expensive to purchase more of the tall stand-up yellow things that we use at the railroad tracks as well, and possibly
Delineators?
yeah, put down at G&E down by Los Dos and kind of go ahead and start?
Yeah, those specifically are spec'd out for the quiet zone. They are a little bit spendy, but I think there are different types of material that are a little bit more affordable. On a temporary basis, I think.
To make that break so that we stop the left-hand turns coming in from the one-stop area onto G even before the construction starts, because it's just going to get worse.
Yep.
well, you know, if if you don't annoy the people on G Street, you're going to annoy the people on C Street. So maybe if you sort of annoy us all less, we'll live with it.
C Street's a nice big street.
Yeah, it's much bigger than ours.
Yeah.
With sidewalks on both sides.
Yeah.
Even Shepherd Road is better than G Street by
Yeah.
far, so.
Yep, we'll look
Thank
into
you,
it.
Mrs. Terrell. Other members of the public?
Well, I guess Don Bolden again. I talked with the council meeting about trying to do a little research on Project 14. And I felt, because I was eventually wanting to come back with some ideas for the workshop and the policy committee that does that. But I thought it was important to keep you involved as I was doing some interviewing. I've been out and I've talked to 5 businesses and 5 residents. And of course, the businesses weren't as random as I would like, because the ones I focused on were the ones that were going to, at least I felt, be impacted by Highway 14. So that was like Wesley's Ford, First Shots, or the furniture place, and the Quizmos and Starbucks and stuff like that, or that stuff, those places. And then the 5 residents were not as random as they should be. It's just who I had a chance to talk to. But the one thing I did find, and as I understand, the project is about $57 million. And I had a feeling that when I went out and would be talking to the business, I would find one that was a strong advocate for the project. Because obviously and I understand, by the way, it's a state project, it's not the city. But as I've heard you people talk, you're interested in growing the town, the port, that facility. So I really sort of expected the people to be for it. And none of them were. But the one thing they told me right off the top is they felt the most important thing was the bridge. That if they had their druthers and had any control, they would do the bridge and forget everything else. Yeah, they felt the problem going from 4 lanes to 2 lanes to 4 lanes was not going to help, it was going to hurt. The only thing I could think of, is probably a bad analogy, is going through Seattle at 5 o'clock when I-5 goes to 2 lanes. I'm not sure that's improved safety or anything. But anyway, the other thing they felt about was the underpasses. And when I looked at it, if you want to stop at Wesley's or Starbucks, you have to get off before the furniture place. Well, they feel that's just going to maybe not drive them out of business, but sort of hurt them quite a bit. And I can see their point of view. I doubt that I would get off 2 miles down the route to get a cup of coffee. So another concern they said is they'd rather have 1 overpass rather than 2, and they'd rather have it at Jimbo's, where the heart of the park is, and that, or the industry. I guess the concern I've only got 2 minutes. The concern I had, to go back, is I felt with us spending $60 million or 57, I certainly expected to find a strong business advocate